right, so obviously a pretty important thing is happening here in Terrebonne Parish. We've seen it all over the national news, and I don't know how y'all managed to pull it off. We're fixing to find out, because what y'all have in y'all possession, I was talking with Mike this morning, is like gold. It's certainly rare to see. So Paige, let's start off with you. What are we looking at, and how did we get this done?
So Mike and I were talking a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about the baby formula and the shortage and how there was none on the shelves here. And I just got out of this world. I have a 15-month-old, so I was, starting to get familiar with it. And so, of course, I sat with him for a few days, and he came back to me, and he said, well, if we get a big shipment of it, would that help? And I'm like, absolutely. And there are people on Facebook waking up and they don't have cans to feed their children. They're sending parents, family members, store to store to store to find just a can of, formula. So I said I couldn't imagine not being able to feed Max. So I said, where are we going to get baby formula from? So we have a friend who lives in Paris, France. So I reached out to her a couple weeks ago, and I told her what was going on and what we needed. And she said, absolutely, I'll help you any way I can. Let me get back to you. So she sent one of her colleagues, called me from France. So we started talking about brands, and I told them the urgency that we needed it, like how fast we needed it. So they had their own French brand on the market, on the shelves there. So he said, I can get you as much as that as you want. We have a ton of that. So we went over the ingredients. It's, pretty much all the exact same things that we have here. So we got a large shipment of that first. And then we started talking about Enfamil. They actually did not have Enfamil in France, but he was able to get it shipped from Spain. So they got it shipped from Spain to France, and then they sent it to us here. And they do not have Similac over there. I guess that's just a U.S. thing. So they've just told us, whatever y'all need, we're here to help. And so it took about 2.5 weeks to get here.
Let me ask Mike a question, because obviously I've done many stories about how you've been involved and your family's been involved in charitable undertakings. I don't know if they're all important, but right now we've been seeing the government struggle trying to get this in. And today, me and you talk, and y'all have a truckload of this, and y'all delivering it to a great location, and it's got to make you feel good that you could be part of that.
I think it's so important for the consumers and the public in Terrebonne to know that Paige called these lawyers in Paris that worked with me for a while years ago, and it was kind of like a shot in the dark. When they got in touch with Spain to get this, I told them, let us know how much all of this costs, and we'll wire transfer the money to you. Well, I checked the books this morning, and they have refused to take any payment for a crate of this formula that's worth probably $40 a can. And this is worth about the same thing, or maybe a little more. And the charities in Spain and in France said no money. So I said that we need to transship this formula from France and Spain to here. We'll pay you for the freight at least. No, it would not take any payment from us, the U.S., our charity, Sister Rosario's children's organization. And I just think it's phenomenal. And then to have this facility to be able to distribute this. It doesn't matter whether you have money or you don't have money. You can get a container of the formula you need at absolutely no cost. But we ask that the consumers only get one container so we can spread the formula out as widely as possible.
And that one container, as we're going to go to a quick break and come back, that one container is about 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay, there you have it. And I'm sure, knowing Mike St. Martin and knowing Paige, that if we need more, y'all will be on the phone again.
Yes, that's right. And I was just asking, I wonder if it might get here faster if I flew over to Paris to pick it up.
Yeah, you could have a little wine and bring back the package when you come back.
Yeah.
Never in all my years in interviewing Mike St. Martin would I see him sitting in a chair holding baby formula. But it's funny how things work out, but whatever the need is at the time, that's what you've been able to do. And especially with the Lewis Infant Center, Mike, and just what y'all have been able to do with young children. Was that the catalyst in getting this, or what exactly made you to move on this?
I suppose it was that training by Sister Rosario that if a child is in need, you don't just stand by and watch. You have to do something, whatever is appropriate. And I think maybe that's what kicked our brains in gear. There were too many children, babies in this area, Terrebonne and Houma, that needed this formula, and for whatever political reasons, the government was not getting the formula to the people fast enough. When the babies are hungry, they don't just sit around and wait for 4 or 5 days or a week or more. They want something to eat now, it's obvious. So we're going to do what's necessary. We'll watch how this distribution takes place. If it turns out that more is needed, we will expedite getting more here, even if it means someone goes over to Europe and hot shots it onto the air freighter.
Paige, let me ask you this, because obviously you've seen Mike and Ginger in action many times over the years, but at the same time, they sort of recruited you, and
Yeah.
either you've adopted the same mentality or you had it to begin with.
Yeah.
You see this a lot, don't you?
I do. I've babysat from a young age. I was a nanny for a family in Houma for a long time, and so kids have always been something I enjoyed. And I started at the infant center in 2016, and that just kind of opened up a whole different love for kids. And then he throws projects at me all the time that he waves a magic wand and gets it done, and I've just learned a lot from him, and I've hoped to
But you
keep it
know when
going.
he comes to you, no is not an answer.
Right.
Somebody on the other end of the phone, if you call it France to get baby formula,
Make it work.
you got to
Yeah.
make it happen.
Yeah.
How's it going to make y'all both feel when the first people come through the doors and get this baby formula?
Well, I called this morning. So I've been seeing on Facebook multiple places, churches, advertising if you have any formula left over. If you're not using any formula, please donate it here. So I told them about this place. I said they've been advertising. I said they are very well connected with women who are expecting, women who have current infants. So I called them this morning and I told them, and Ashley here, I thought was going to cry over the phone. She was so excited. And so, yeah, I think it's going to help a lot of people here because a lot of people truly don't have any food for
If
them.
we give Mike final word, you got to be proud.
Well, when I saw the president telling the public that this big, this giant air transport belonging to the Air Force was going to bring in the first big shipment of formula, and talked about how many containers were in that big aircraft. It sounded like a lot, and it was a lot. But in the United States, it hardly wet the whistle. And whatever our government has to do needs to get done, like now, to feed these children throughout the U.S. And if need be, we'll get another shipment. And we'll wear out our welcomes all across the world, getting more formula in.
So what we'll do, we're going to post, because we don't want to put this institution in bond, and we'll get the information on when people can come and get it. We don't want them coming at 10 at night if the doors aren't open at 10. But once again, congratulations on a job well done, and thank you on a job well done. And Mike, let's hold that can up one more time so everybody can see Mike St. Martin holding some baby formula here in
I
Terrebonne
don't know
Parish.
what to do with it, but I'm holding it.
All right, there you have it from Houma, and we'll be back with more. Don't go away.